Hey, I'm Ton Vin, and this is Seattle Eats, a food podcast from the Seattle Times and KUOW. There are 15 new bars and restaurants that I checkmarked as must-visit this year, including an East Village Speakeasy expanding to Seattle, and 3 new businesses from one James Beard Award-winning chef, Renee Erickson. But there's one opening that just might be the most anticipated this year. It's an opening that Seattle Times readers ask me about the most. It's called My Friend Derek's, a hotspot for Detroit-style pizza run by self-taught baker Derek Reiff. It's in the Tangletown neighborhood, just south of Green Lake. He's been doing pizza pop-ups as a side hustle since 2020. Then he quit his web developer job and posted on Instagram when he felt like hawking pizza. And they sell out within 30 minutes. His pie has a cult following, but Derek has never opened a restaurant before. And there's a little bit more that goes into it than just posting on Instagram. And he's feeling the stress. He even had a terrible dream about it 2 nights before he opened.
I was on a beach at a family reunion, and I left my dough out to get a second rise in. A kid knocked one over, so I lost half of my dough to sand. And also some grandmas and aunts at the reunion who had decided to use my dough to make bread. So I had lost all of my dough except for like 2, and I was heartbroken.
On today's episode, I visited Derek at his restaurant the day before it opened to talk about what Detroit-style pizza is and what it's like to go from a pop-up sensation to a sit-down restaurant. Even though Derek's new at this game, he's a perfectionist who considers a 4-star Yelp review a failure. Well, hello, sir. Oh. Good. How are you?
Doing well. Just finishing up prep for tomorrow.
Good. Derek's new spot is in a tiny building that seats 20. If you hear some humming in the background, that's because there's multiple fridges, stuffed with mozzarella, olives, sausage, and sauce. You know, the makings of a good Detroit-style pizza. Derek, thanks for having me.
Hey, good to be here, Tom.
So tell people, what is Detroit-style pizza?
Detroit-style pizza, obviously from Michigan, but it's essentially a nice, thick focaccia crust with a ton of cheese, what I call the cheese wall around the edge that caramelizes and gets a little crunchy, and a couple stripes of red sauce as well, and then whatever you want to put on that.
So tell me, for someone who has never been to your pop-up, what is on the menu? How many slices? How many whole pies?
So likely 3 or 4 slices. I think slices will happen tomorrow. It might just be smalls. Likely 4 special pies that are always on the board. I've started working on a mushroom white pizza that will probably be on the menu tomorrow. I need to go get mushrooms. Anything with red onion jam, if it's not too much, I think adds a ton to a pizza. And then, of course, the pepperoni and castrovetranos, and then plain Jane for people who just want cheese.
What is amazing is you're not a baker. You don't have a restaurant industry background. So, Derek, how the heck did we get here? Tell me, what did you do in your previous life before this crazy venture?
Yeah, so I moved here from Indiana 16 years ago, got a job at a tech company, started in customer support, went into marketing after that, and eventually became a web developer. And I quit that job 2 years ago when I realized that I could make enough money selling pizza to pay rent. And that's what I've been doing.
So let's back up a bit. How did you learn how to make pizza?
So I started probably 7-8 years ago. Long story short, I ran a lot. I ate a lot of Domino's. And even
ultra marathoner, correct?
Ultra marathons, yeah. I was running a lot, ordering a lot of Domino's. No matter how many coupons you stack up on Domino's.com, you're still going to end up with like a $60 order total with delivery because you can't get off the couch. After a year of that, I thought, I can probably make pizza. How hard could it be? It was very hard 8 years ago. I was awful. And then this was also right around the time that people were getting into outdoor pizza ovens. I think I got the first Uni outdoor oven that you could get. Impossible to keep hot. Fast forward to the pandemic. Right before we all went into quarantine, I hosted a Detroit-style pizza party for friends, and they said, this is your best yet. So I went for it.
So where did you get the recipe for Detroit-style pizza? Was it a focaccia? Was it a bread recipe or?
No, I think, and I'm pretty sure Kenji knows this, he led the way on this Detroit-style surge that we've seen.
And he's talking about Kenji Lopez Alt.
Yeah,
Cookbook author extraordinaire.
Yeah, I was reading everything Kenji was doing at the time on Serious Eats and tried a brand new style, used his dough, used his sauce recipe. Didn't have brick cheese, so I had to create my own mix there. And then for 4 months, I was tweaking and adding and subtracting and switching up the dough, going a little bit higher hydration until here we are 5 years later.
You know, a lot of people with these Uni ovens, it's like the bane of my existence because everyone claims they make the best pizza at home now. So what gave you the hotspot to think like, hey, I'm going to sell this pizza and people are going to buy it? How did you start selling pizza to the public?
Yeah, so over the years, 7-8 years ago, bad pizza. I knew it was bad. I wouldn't serve it to friends. I was, you throw a pizza into the Uni and it comes out like a stromboli, or you can't make anything else that night because the stone is ruined. So I certainly didn't think that mine were the best, but there was probably a 3-year stretch where I was making 1 or 2 Neapolitan pizzas every night, definitely every other, but at some points every night. Take a bite, spit it out, see what you liked, see what you didn't like, try a new cheese, try a new sauce, try a different tomato. And then I had a friend who had a visitor into town and they said, okay, let's go get some pizza. Where can we go? They said, the best pizza in Seattle is my friend Derek's. That's where the name came from. And I do think that my friends will give me too much credit. So I would start having pizza parties where they had to tell me something that was bad. But who knows? I had a goal to sell a pizza to a stranger. I thought that would be like a farmer's market. After I had sold pizzas to friends of friends, people you knew tangentially, I finally had a stranger who just took a chance on an Instagram post that she saw, and she bought back when the pizzas were like $10.
I recall, Derek, I was at a party and someone said, hey, I want a Derek's Pizza now, and he would check on Instagram because I don't think there was any rhyme or reason. Didn't you do it when you felt like it? Was it that?
Yeah, totally. When I had free time to dedicate to a pizza night, I would say, let's do it on Thursday. Sometimes I would do it on Monday. And then when you have to pay rent, you'll do it a bit more. But yeah, it was just, whenever I could do it.
Yeah. You know, the journey from pop-up to restaurant is not for the weak, especially now, minimum wage increase, food price inflation. So what have you had to do to make this jump?
It would not have been possible without a slow, steady rise from 4 pizzas a night to 100 pizzas a night. I couldn't have gone from 20 to buying a restaurant. Wouldn't have been possible. Wouldn't be possible without some friends and customers that loaned money. I think it also just requires a lot of being naive about the restaurant industry. I have not had a conversation with anyone who's ever been in the industry that said, yeah, this will be great. They've all said, that was really dumb. Why'd you do it? So I think it's my love letter before I quit pizza to Seattle.
Yeah. So let's talk about your best seller, which are the pepperoni cups and the olives. You know, we have gone to this weird stage, Derek, around the pizza scene where it can't just be pepperoni. You have one place doing pepperoni and confit garlic. There's another one that does pepperoni and corn. So when I saw you doing pepperoni and olives, I said, God, is this too much? Is this overwork? But it really works. The brininess, it cuts into all the fattiness of the cheese. How did you come up with that combination?
I was in Restaurant Depot. I saw Castelvetrano olives. I thought, let's try. My dad loves green olives on his pizza. Castelvetranos are not what they put on pizza in Indiana, guaranteed. But it just was a great pizza. I can't eat my pizza anymore, so I can't really, I don't have a great memory of what the pepperoni cups and Castelvetranos taste like, but they were perfect 3 years ago, and I hope they're still perfect now.
So why can't you eat your pizza?
So when I was making Neapolitan, I would stand over the trash can, take a bite, spit it out. When you're making Detroit, it is kind of a different taste experience. So I was happily eating my first 10 pies. But then you reach a point where you're unable to tell if it's good anymore. The sauce tastes unoriginal, uninspired. It's just not what you want. But now that I have an employee or two, I can just make them taste the pizza.
This is one thing I found out, Derek, of first comers who have never opened a restaurant. They cannot deal with the negative Yelp reviews, or they literally cry. So you don't have experience in the industry. Do you have a thick skin? Are you ready for that first maybe negative Yelp reviews like, hey, I don't see what all the fuss is about. This is overrated, or service sucked.
My skin is incredibly thin. I am terrified of any additional reviews that come in. In my wildest dream, I never get another Yelp review in for the rest of my life, whether it's 5 stars, 4 stars, 3 stars, or 1 star. I got a 3-star 2 years ago, and I hope this isn't weird, but I just instantly refunded their money through Talk because I could. And then they sort of misunderstood, so they ordered again and bumped it up to 4. And then I was on the cusp of another refund, and my friends talked me out of it.
Oh, wait, Derek. 4 stars is good. You realize that, right?
It's not bad, but it's not 5. I want people to love the pizza. I want people to really want to come back for another one. And I guess you might come back for a 4-star pizza, but why not go to the 5-star one that you like more, I guess?
Oh, God. Derek, I think you need to go to therapy.
I definitely do, yes.
Derek, thank you for having me in your restaurant today.
Yeah.
Good luck tomorrow on your opening.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Derek Reiff is the owner of My Friend Derek's, a new Detroit-style pizza parlor south of Green Lake. He's got 4 different pies to choose from. The pepperoni and olive is a fan favorite, and his mushroom white pizza is a go-to for pizza geeks. The pizzas are $20 to $24, but you can supersize it for an extra $10. Thanks for listening to Seattle Eats. We have a link to an article about My Friend Derek's in the description of this episode. Seattle Eats is a production of the Seattle Times and KUOW, part of the NPR network. You can support Seattle Eats by investing in the local newsroom and the specialized beats that make this sort of storytelling possible. Please consider joining and subscribing at KUOW.org/eats and SeattleTimes.com. Seattle Eats is produced by Claire McGrain and Lucy Subcheck and edited by Jim Gates and Trevor Lensmeyer. I'm Tom Venn. See you next week.